All right, cool. Recording started.
And
All
wait,
right.
can I just make sure, is my microphone, like, does it sound good to you?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Perfect. All right, and we'll get ready. Let me just make sure everything's good on my end. Okay, what's up, guys? We have Carrie here from Helium10. She is one of the brand evangelists. She's going to come in and kind of help you guys understand how to launch a product on Amazon, how to find that initial product that you might not know what you want to launch, and kind of dive into some of the tools for Helium10. So welcome, Carrie. Thank you so much for doing this call for us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here to show you all some of our amazing tools that help you to find products. But a little bit about myself, I've actually been selling on Amazon as well since 2016. And I launched some products with my dad, and we've grown to be 7-figure sellers. And I'm also working at Helium10. So I have kind of the experience of an actual seller. And then I've also been using Helium10 since about 2017. And I think it's the most important tool. I've been, using it from the beginning, and it's definitely grown since then. But I don't know how anyone would do it without it. So we have some incredible tools here. And so I'm going to go ahead and just get started and share my screen here. I've got it all set up here for you.
Perfect.
All right. So this is Black Box. Okay. So what you want to do when you log into Helium10 is you're going to want to do this drop down menu, and you're going to click on Black Box. Okay. So this is our product research tool where you can basically filter down all of the products that are on Amazon into, the parameters basically that you specify within these different filters. Okay. The first thing is you can choose whatever market you want. We've got all these different markets, and I do suggest doing research. If you're not doing the US, you want to choose whatever market you want to sell in, just to kind of analyze demand that way. So I'm going to always just put .com because that's where I sell. It's where I'm most familiar. And then the next thing is you want to always choose your, well, actually, before I get started, there's a few different tabs here. We have all these different tabs of different strategies and ways that you can actually find products. So the first one that I'm going to go over is products tab. So that's what I'm in right now, where we're choosing the market. And then the next thing here, we're going to choose the category. So I usually recommend choosing categories that you're more familiar with, or, that you are more interested in. For example, I have a friend who's really into cars. He's really into automotive stuff. And he ended up figuring out a product that was in need in the market, and kind of like a gap in the market, I guess you could say, and started selling that. And then another friend who started selling arts and crafts things, and she was doing like live demos of it. So it's kind of a multi-purpose thing. You can do Amazon, you can do live on Instagram. So you might want to think about things like that, where you can really promote it other ways as well. But I'm just going to choose some, basic categories here. I'll choose like handmade, home and kitchen and dining,
And just for some insight, we do a lot of supplements in our group.
Okay.
Which is a very competitive area.
It is.
But we also have a lot of people with social following.
Yeah.
So kind of like you said, if you have some offsite traffic, you can kind of find a hole in the market as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point though too, because I've seen supplements launch like on TikTok, and then they do super well on Amazon because they've gotten a lot of traction on social media. So I actually do sell in a competitive market. It's not super easy, but there are ways you can kind of go around it. Even on Amazon, you can find kind of low hanging fruit keywords where no one else is targeting. So I can go over that a little bit later. But okay, so what I did here was I just chose some of these categories. And the next thing I like to do is I always like to set a price on Amazon. Now, this is what the product actually sells for. I usually don't like to go below $25. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure that you leave room for profitability. You've got to, take into account the fact that you've got to manufacture the product and you're shipping the product. Now, a lot of supplements, if you're selling supplements, a lot of them are probably manufactured in the US. But if you're going to, start selling a product that you manufacture in maybe China, you've got to kind of look at the actual production costs, then the shipping, from China to the US, and then there's taxes on import. And then there's, fulfillment by Amazon, which is basically their picking, packing, and shipping fee. And then there's like just a referral fee that Amazon charges. It's like a percentage based on your category. So there's those basic, fees, but then you're also going to want to market the product. So, you've got to leave some room for pay-per-click advertising. And you still want to have profit at the end of the day because you don't want to work for free. So that's something to really think about. Supplements, maybe they're less cost to get manufactured, but you have a really high cost per click. So you want to kind of factor in like what is the cost per click and all that stuff. So I always say a minimum of $25. You could go higher. A lot of people do go higher and they kind of play around with these numbers. But I just always set a minimum price because I don't really want to go below $25.
Yeah.
The next thing,
we also do a lot of TikTok marketing from our side.
Oh, perfect.
Very tapped into that market as well as the PPC side of things.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot less expensive than, just doing PPC on Amazon. So the more you can learn that's amazing. Monthly revenue, this is what the product is selling for. So I'm kind of like searching for products that have a minimum of, certain revenue. So I'm going to say a minimum of $10,000 a month. So I basically am seeing demand with the product. So when we're filtering down the products, I want to see that people are actually purchasing this product. And if there's 10,000 in revenue a month, there's a pretty good chance a lot of people are buying it and it's in demand. So you can actually play around with this number too. And all of these parameters that I'm setting, you can just play around with them, put in different numbers, and you'll get different results. And it is best to play around with the different numbers and see what kind of different outcomes you get. But I just wanted to kind of show you a basic one that I start off with. And then I always go over to the review count and I put a maximum of 100. You can put a maximum of 150, whatever it is you want. But this shows competition. So for example, if I were to go to Amazon and I were to go to like vitamin C serum, I look at this and, I know you guys sell supplements, but this is going to be an extremely competitive product because it's like 145,000 here, 57,000 here, 43,000. I think ideally what you would want to do is find a product that even in the supplement category where there's, in the top 10 listings, there's less than, 100 reviews because that shows that maybe it's less competitive. Yeah. So you can still find those supplement products too that are kind of up and coming.
We try to tell our members, like, if anyone has 5-digit reviews, don't enter that market. Obviously, if someone has 9,000 and then the rest have maybe sub 1,000, you might be able to come in, but they are a top dog. So since TikTok exists and it's kind of like a crazy style of marketing nowadays, you can come in, but we are pretty, straightforward with them and say, hey, like they have 9,000 and you're entering the market. It's going to be very hard to battle on PPC because they will outbid you. So just be aware. But like you said, like 100 is a good starting point for the max reviews.
And that's, a good point. You could put this if you wanted to do 500. You could do 1,000. Yeah. So that's where you can kind of change the parameters there. And then I always kind of look at shipping size. Now, I like to choose small standard just because when you're a beginner, it's easier for shipping purposes. And there's also less fees when it comes to Amazon. You got a fee for, the picking, packing, shipping, and the bigger the product, it's going to be a bigger fee. So, you always want to look at that, packaging and how big or small the product is, how much it weighs. So you can try to get the lower cost in terms of fees so that you're more profitable. And then if you go down here, there's a few other things you could do, like number of images. Sometimes you could put like maximum of 3 in here. And if you find listings where they literally only have 3 or less images, then that you could potentially get into that market and say, hey, I can beat this person. They're selling a lot of product, but they haven't optimized their listing fully, and you can go in and fully optimize the listing and really beat the competition there. You can also do like, variation count. So say you want a product that doesn't have a lot of variations, you can say maximum variation count 1 so that you're not really, getting products with a lot of variations, especially when you're starting out. It can get more expensive if you're doing like sizes and colors and all that stuff. Title keywords, say there's a certain type of supplement ingredient that you wanted. You could actually put that in the title keywords and you could search for, things along that line. I usually like to exclude keywords. Like I usually exclude these. I have these different ones that always come up that I don't like. But then also during like holiday season, which is coming up, if you're searching for products during like Christmas time, I usually exclude Christmas and Halloween and like, Thanksgiving and all those, because those are seasonal products. And although, they could be profitable, I would say those are more for advanced sellers. And because you have to literally get your inventory in right at the right time, and you have to sell through it all within a certain amount of time. So it's really tricky.
It's like an outlier.
Yes, exactly. We have this other filter here, which is listing age in months. So you could even play around with that and say, hey, I want to see products that have only been listed for like a maximum of 3 months and they're selling, 10,000 already. You can take a look and see kind of maybe trending products. You can even say, hey, I'll change this monthly revenue to like 100,000 and see who's selling 100,000 in 3 months, So that's a good filter to play around with. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit search, and we'll be able to see some product ideas in here. Okay, so we've got 13. So I really kind of narrowed it down here. Basically, probably want to find a little bit more, so I can even edit the filters and, see if there's anything else that I can do. I think I maybe
Reviews, maybe
reviews. So maybe I'll go to 150 with reviews and see if we can apply those filters and see if we can get some more product ideas in there. Yeah, we've got 16, but you can see how that kind of changes it. So we've got like, I've seen this before. It's, Iraqi, like fake money. So it's kind of interesting. We've got cartridges for ink cartridges. We've got nameplates, like a self-adhesive nameplate. I can just kind of take a look at that. I don't know what that is. Let's see, we've got some other stuff here, basically printer stuff. In a book, a planner. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and edit my filters again, because usually I'm going to just see if there's some more here that I can find. And I'm going to go to, let's see, we've got 10,000 in revenue.
You could bump reviews to like 500 if you want.
We could try that. Let's try to that.
Because I still don't think even though they have 500, I think it's still the way we do things with TikTok. Like I've seen some brands get 500 reviews within their first 6 months.
Yeah.
Just due to the sheer nature of like offsite traffic and purchases. Like we've had some brands do like 10K units in their like second month.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Another thing we can do if we don't find anything too is we can take off the variation count. And you can find still things that are selling variations, but then you just don't have to sell all the variations basically. Yeah. So let's see if we can find anything since we've expanded it. Got couch covers. Couch covers, interesting one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to edit the filters again, and I'm going to take off the variation count here. And then I'm going to apply the filters. We're going to get a lot more here.
Yeah, that'll definitely bump a lot up.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. So, and I actually might even edit the reviews down back to 150, because we want to kind of narrow it down from 500. So you can see how you kind of want to play around with the filters, and you can see different things. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. We've got shower curtains here, handwriting grips, a moonstone bracelet. So I might take a look at that. If you just click on the little picture, it'll actually take you to Amazon. We've got a small urn. That's kind of interesting. So we'll take a look.
Like a wide array of products.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in here. So, and let's see what a crystal ball. I'm actually going to just go to this urn. This seems like an interesting one.
Yeah.
So it's a customized small urn for human ashes. So it looks like it's like a very small one that maybe you can like carry around with you. So what we're going to do is you can actually see, this is our extension, our Chrome extension. When you download it, you'll see this information on the actual details page. You can see the 30-day revenue. So it's actually doing pretty well, $21,000 in revenue per month. The rating is about 4.8. So they're doing well with the ratings. And so, it's just kind of looks like a kind of a promising product overall. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this tab here. And I'm just going to go and look for the main keyword, which I think is small urn or small urns for human ashes. So small urn for human ashes. Then you're going to hit search. And we've got all these different small urns. Now, one thing I like about the results here is that there's a bunch of different designs. So when there's products that have a lot of different designs, people are going to scroll down further on the page than maybe like when you see something in the top 10 listings are 10 of the same product. It's really hard to compete with that and differentiate. Whereas, or sometimes you can differentiate if there are, maybe you can do different colors or designs. But usually I like to see when, there's something like this where, you might be able to still make quite a few sales even in the top 20 listings. So what I'm going to do is, this is our Helium10 Chrome extension up here at the top that you need to actually download separately. But when you click on this, it basically is going to pull in all the information from this first page. So I'm going to click on X-ray. And this is, it's going to show us all the sales data. And this is going to help you to kind of analyze whether or not this product is a good product to sell or not. What I usually do is I like to filter out the sponsored products because I just like to look at the organic results and kind of see what there is there. Okay, so you can see right here, if you have actually access to brand analytics, you can actually see that the top clicked. So this is a top clicked, second top clicked, and then the third top clicked product on this page. So you can see the third top clicked product is literally like spot 30 in the organic rank. So that means people are scrolling down quite a ways to see these products. And that's what I mean by having those designs, because people are looking for a special keepsake and they're looking for a certain type. So all right, so then what we want to do is want to scroll over and take a look at the pricing. Now the pricing doesn't look too great in terms of overall pricing. Now some of them are going to have higher prices, and maybe people will be willing to pay more because it is kind of a keepsake thing. But I do like to see more of the products above $25, but still I wouldn't rule it out because there are some that are over $25 that are still selling. So yeah. I will say though, the top are about $20. So you can kind of, take a look at the pricing and make sure you're profitable. Then I look at revenue to see if there's a good amount of revenue. It looks like this one's selling, 28,000 a month, 5,000. I mean, it's a mostly on this top clicked one, but there's still a spread of some sales. Yeah. And this one even here is 16,000 right here and it's, $19.99. Now this one, it's only 2.85 inches. So it's extremely small and light. So that could mean that, basically you could get it manufactured very inexpensively and you could potentially make a $20 price point work. You would just have to really run the numbers.
You could even do it differently and make something else about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I always look at that. And then the next thing I take a look at over here is, you can take a look at the seller region. Now, this could be looked at a few different ways. If there's a lot of Chinese sellers, you're going to know, okay, it's probably going to be hard to beat them in price because they're going to be direct from factory usually. However, that also could mean that you could market the product better and you're going to do better quality control overall. So you could potentially beat them on quality and your marketing strategy because you understand the culture better and you can understand how to market these products to people. So that's something you can kind of take a look at and take into consideration. But I don't know always, it's not a make or break thing for me. Then if you take a look at, you can take a look at the reviews here, and overall ratings are pretty high. So that's good. You can actually, take a look at the reviews and see what people like about it. And then that's something that you might want to, make sure to add into your product, or look at things that people don't like. And you can kind of take a look and make sure to improve upon that with yours. Then the reviews. So this is actually pretty good. So I can see like in the top listings here, there is one that's, obviously they've got 2,800 reviews, but there's definitely a spread of reviews. So I would say this is kind of medium competition. You still have some that are under 100 reviews in the top 10 organic spots. Even this one only has 3. So there's definitely opportunity to get into that market. It's not completely so competitive. So that's kind of how I would analyze this. And I would keep this on a short list to see whether or not I might be interested in selling it. And I just kind of, usually when I'm brainstorming ideas, I'll make a list of quite a few product ideas, and then I'll do this initial analysis and then go back and do more in detail. So if they don't pass the price test, like say all of the prices were like $5.99, I'm going to just say, no, that's probably not going to be it. Or if there's not really a lot of revenue, there's not a lot of demand, then I'll probably get rid of it. Or if the reviews in the top, organic spots were all thousands and thousands, like you said, 5 digits, then I eliminate that. So this is a quick way to help you kind of analyze whether or not you should continue on with a product.
Yeah. Is there a threshold of like sales? Let's say like the top 3 spots accounted for like 75% of the market. Is there a certain number you kind of keep in mind to kind of avoid?
Well, usually
this one's pretty spread out, obviously. So this is a good potential product to enter.
I usually take a deeper look at it. So I don't always say, oh, that's like this number. I'll take a look and say, is it patented? Sometimes there's, a product that's patented. And that's why the majority of the sales are, in that top one. And then there's, only trickling sales in the others. So that's something that's kind of a clue to patented products.
So take a
deeper look at it. And then you can also kind of like just go to the actual, page itself, and take a look. Okay. Is it because it's literally the only product that fulfills that keyword? Like if there was just like one little small urn and the rest of these photos were something that were completely unrelated to a small urn, that's a good opportunity, because that means, okay, there's literally only one product that really meets this actual keyword criteria of small urn, and I can go ahead and get into this market. So there's a bunch of different ways you look at it. So I would just say analyze it further. I don't have necessarily a threshold in terms of that.
And I think design plays a big factor in that one too.
Yeah, and I like seeing things with different designs. I also, even if it's maybe not something you necessarily do a different design with, but you can make a different color. Or a lot of men are actually sellers. I think it was like 75% of Amazon sellers are men, and I think most buyers are women. So you want to kind of think, okay, there's a lot of men selling kind of generic products without like the pretty colors. You might think and find some products too that you might want to think outside the box and say, hey, how can I appeal more to women and make this prettier or something like that.
Yeah, exactly why I made my product.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really good strategy.
For example, the bestseller, like that's a great image. It's showing you it comes in this little case compared to everything else I see.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
That could have a huge conversion rate like difference compared to everybody else.
Yeah. The main image is so huge. So yeah. Definitely. All right, so I'm going to go back to Black Box, and I'm going to go to the keywords tab here. So the keywords tab is another tab where we can actually find kind of trending keywords. And so I'm just going to show you a quick way to kind of find some really interesting, maybe potentially trending keywords. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do search volume. And I usually start with like 3,000. I go to like 8,000 or 10,000. And that's just how many searches per month a product keyword is, or a keyword is getting. Also, you're going to choose a market too. So it's always default Amazon.com. But if it's a like a German market or something, you're going to probably want to put a lower search volume, like 1,000 or 500, because there's less searches usually on those. And then what I like to do is I like to go over to review count. And I like to do like a maximum of 150 again, just to kind of see, see that. Oops, I did 147. I don't know why I did 147.
You did 150 to toggle.
And then it went down. I'm like, how did that happen? Another thing you can do is like revenue. You could do, whatever kind of revenue that you want, honestly, in there to kind of narrow it down. And then word count, I always do a minimum of 2, because you want to see longer tail keywords, and you can even do 3 or 4. And that's basically because, maybe there's a single word that's getting a lot of search volume, for example, like kitchen. But, say you're selling, a better keyword might be like a stainless steel spatula. And that's a more specific keyword. And that's a three-word keyword. So you want to find kind of those longer tail, more relevant specific keywords. And then you can also choose your categories. You can do, handmade, home and kitchen and dining, office products, patio and lawn, all those. You can just search whatever categories you want.
Yeah, obviously on the different things, parameters.
Yeah. And then, these are all different filters you can fill in, but one that I really like to do is title density. Title density is basically how many products have that exact phrase in their title on page 1. So for example, we sell coffin shelf. And so the term coffin shelf, there's like 40 other competitors on page 1 that have exactly coffin shelf in their title. And that helps you to kind of rank better for those. If there's, say there was only like 3 competitors who had coffin shelf exactly in their title, that means it's less competitive. So you can potentially rank for it. So for example, there is a keyword, I think it's like coffin shelf large, or even coffin shelves. And those have a smaller title density, I think like 3 or 4. And if you put that in your title, you're going to have an easier time ranking for it, because title is usually kind of the heavier weighted when it comes to keywords. So this is kind of a good way to kind of take a look at, finding those keywords where there's not a lot of people who've put it in their actual, in their title. So I'm going to hit search. We'll see if we can find something. I might get too many. Okay, I found way too many. So I'm going to do a minimum revenue of like, let's do like 3,000 to 10,000. See if that changes it. So you want to kind of narrow it down a little bit more. Okay, so we've got 110 phrases. So you can see there's a lot of Halloween stuff coming up now. You can
Mhm.
you can also exclude Halloween if you wanted to. Let's see where we go. Exclude Halloween. And I can hit search again. And you'll see that that's excluded the Halloween stuff. Oh, funny, Taylor Swift birthday cards. Never would have thought of that one. You've got
It's a
some
big demand. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got a background stand backdrop. Let's see. Some of these are like actually some brands. I think Stanley's like maybe the water cup. Let's see. I've never heard of I took her to my penthouse flag either.
Sounds like a college phrase.
Yeah, sounds like that too. Like a fall gnome. So gnomes are kind of trending. Obviously, I don't really say to go with seasonal things. There's Christmas stuff starting to come out, fall shower curtains, Stanley Cup nameplate. So maybe you could, start making accessories to Stanleys. Yeah. So it looks like, I think this is what it is. Yeah, there's like nameplates that you can stick on there.
That's wild.
So yeah, that's something. I mean, I would say the price point's way too low, but that's definitely.
I don't even know how that's profitable. That's obviously straight from manufacturer. Obviously,
I think so. Yeah. So let's go to the next page. There's a lot of Spanish words too, like mementos for baptism for kids. So you can see there's a lot of different kind of keywords, and this is a good way. And actually, Bradley Sutton, who's he's my manager, he's one of the main guys at Helium10. He's found a lot of profitable products using this particular tool, the keyword search, to find some of these kind of trending keyword searches. And so you just kind of look through them. Dorm flags. That's there's a bunch of different things that you can kind of find. I mean, obviously political stuff is trending, so you can see the search volume of the, whatever those are. I don't recommend doing those either because it's kind of seasonal, but you get the kind of idea that these are a lot of different, really interesting keywords. You can kind of go into and dig a little deeper. Maybe, with the Stanley stuff, maybe there's something you can do that's like a nicer quality one and make it a higher price, or do a bundle of sorts, different things that you can do that way. So that's a good way to do it. So I'm going to go on to another tab here, and I'm going to go to the niche tab. This is one of my favorite ways to kind of look for products if you have an idea of like a niche that you want to sell in. Like, for example, we have a test product that's a coffin shelf, and it's kind of strange. It does actually sell year round, which is interesting to me. It's like decor for certain types of people. So like sometimes I'll search goth.
Yeah, I was going to say gothic decor would be
a heavy hit.
Yeah.
You can find all kinds of interesting things in goth decor. So we've got these like bat scissors. And I have seen these before, and these are completely like new, and they're the only ones that sell this type of, scissor, and they're killing it. You can see they're selling 86,000 a month for bat scissors. So bat kitchen shears. So that's kind of like a cool potential product if you wanted to think, hey, maybe I want to sell a bat kitchen shear too, maybe do different colors, or you could potentially just maybe think of different shapes within this kind of niche. Maybe like I don't know if you could do ghost ones, or I don't know what you could do, like coffins.
Ghost. Yeah, you can. There's so many different areas.
Yeah, so I mean, they're definitely doing very well, and this is I've seen this before, and every month they tend to do more and more revenue. So really interesting. You can see there's web shelves. So that would be, definitely within the niche. You can see bat decals, a crow lamp here. I mean, all kinds of just different random ideas. Another style bat shelf. A sign for coffee, a little very, very dark gothic sign here that's, they're selling $30,000 a month. So there's a bunch of different interesting ideas. We've got this like bat paper towel holder. They're even doing 10,000 a month
with a coffin on it.
Yeah. So lots of different ideas that you can get if you know a niche that you want to kind of start selling in. This is a really great tool to utilize. Another thing that you can do is I'll just show you our coffin shelf. So I usually just pull the extension and find our ASIN. It's easy to just copy our ASIN from the X-ray. So let's see, where is ours? Ah, there it is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to black box. So we just did the niche tool. Again, you can put any niche in here and you can search. You could put different parameters in here if you wanted to kind of narrow it down like by price or something like that. But I'm going to go to product targeting now. And what I did was I just copied the ASIN of that product, which is the product identifier. And this is our coffin shelf. So this is our coffin shelf ASIN. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit search. And what this is going to do is it's going to bring up a bunch of different products that are similar to mine. So say you started with one product, you're saying, okay, I want to expand my line and I want to do a bunch of other like similar type of products. Or you might be thinking, hey, I want to bundle my product with something else because I want to make it a higher price point. Basically, you can find a lot of different things that kind of go with it. So we've got, skull ice cube molds, definitely within that niche, a web shelf. So you can even do like a coffin shelf bundled with a web shelf if you wanted to, some bat decals. We've got moon mirrors. You could do like a moon mirror and a coffin shelf if you wanted to. Or you can just find new product ideas. We got another bat shelf. This is a different design than the one we saw before. A coffin mirror. So you could do like a coffin mirror, coffin shelf combo. Let's see what else we've got. We've got like a makeup holder that's a coffin shape. So people put their makeup brushes there. This one's actually like a bundle. It's like a bookshelf and makeup holders. We've got like a coffin letterboard. I mean, look at these. They're selling.
They're all doing numbers. Granted, it's about to be October, but still.
Yeah, I see these year round though, and they definitely still do. Like this one usually does around 50,000 a month.
Giftable items too.
Yeah, so people like this kind of stuff. There's like a whole, group of people who buy it year round. So lots of really good different ideas that you can kind of find by just putting in an ASIN. And that's something else you could think of. Like say there's a product that you're like, oh, I really wanted to sell this, but it's too competitive. You can just put the ASIN in here and see if there's like a similar type of product that you could sell within that niche. Or you could just search in the niche finder. Like maybe there's something within that niche that's related to it that you could sell that's not as competitive. So those are the main, basically the product research tools that I would use. You can find all kinds of really great ideas and, put them, into a list kind of thing. We also have a tool called Product Launchpad. And you can actually add, like say it's a coffin shelf, you can actually put in keywords. And I only put 2 in this one as an example, but you can put a bunch of keywords in here so you can see the search volume of all the keywords. You can see if it's trending up or down in those keywords. So like Gothic decor is clearly going up now because it's going to Halloween, but you can see the keyword sales and you can see all kinds of, great information about the keywords. You can also put in your competitors in here so you can kind of compare yourself to your competitors and say, okay, I would say put in like at least the top 10 competitors that you find and you can compare like stacked on top of each other. Okay, reviews. Well, this one has 2,300 and this one has 600. So maybe you find some in the top 10 that have only like, 100 reviews. Then you can kind of analyze it that way. Yeah. You can look, compare pricing. The pricing seems pretty close here. You can see the monthly sales and monthly revenue and all of that stuff kind of combined. And then the last bit, you actually can put a bunch of notes in here. So say you see something in the reviews that's, something that people don't like or that you want to change, you can put all the notes in here. Like, I'm going to make it more sturdy. I'm going to make it a better color. I'm going to do a different design. You can put all those in the notes. And then you can have a kind of AI help you to kind of summarize whether it's a good product. I would usually do this for the ones that you've kind of narrowed down, like you're like really pretty sure that you want to do this. And something I also want to just point out too for reviews, if you go to an actual product here, you can download the reviews from our Review Insights tool. And what I usually like to do is I like to kind of filter them out a little bit and do little sections. And for example, for ratings, I might say I want to see only, I only want to see like the 4 and 5 star reviews. And you apply the filters and you can download those and you can export them and upload them into ChatGPT and say, what do people like most about this product? And you can get like what people like, and then you can take the negative reviews next and say, what do people hate about this product, so that you can make it better, and you can also make sure to maintain the things that people like when you're creating your product. So
Does
that's
that
another
review
thing.
insights tool, sorry, does that insights tool come on the platinum and starter plan, or is it?
It's a platinum plan for sure. I don't know about the starter plan, but I do know it's on the platinum plan.
Yeah, most of us
So,
have that one anyways.
yeah. So, and it's a really helpful tool, really useful in, figuring out quickly what is good and what's bad about a product,
rather than going through hundreds of reviews.
Yeah. I used to kind of sift through them manually, and that was just a lot to do. So those are our main, product research tools. Again, it's called Black Box. We have all these different tabs that we just went through. And those are the ways that you can find a bunch of great product ideas that are, potentially very profitable on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's honestly, we didn't even play with too many filters either. So like,
No.
I think a lot of people can filter by like maybe under 4.5 reviews, and then look at the stuff that's under that. And then just, like you said, download that negative list and say, why do people dislike this the most? And how can you improve it? With ChatGPT or whatever, Claude AI, people use a whole bunch of different things nowadays, but I think that's a great idea.
And in addition to that, I forgot to mention that you can see on each tab, there's actually training here. So if you forget like what I've said, or you want to learn some more strategies, each one of these has a bunch of different videos, and they're pretty short because they've got different strategies. And it'll show you, how to find product opportunities in these very short videos too. It's just to kind of refresh your memory as well.
I've definitely gone through a lot of those already.
Nice.
Very helpful.
Yeah. So that is our product research.
Awesome. That's great. And I know we kind of wanted to touch on a couple other tools, Black Box being, the main one.
Yep.
And I believe we spoke on, what was the other one? Cerebro?
Cerebro, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, I think Magnet was another one you mentioned.
Magnet, Cerebro, yeah. Those kind of go hand in hand with us. We do use a lot of those primarily along with the other couple you just mentioned, but definitely those two. If you have enough time, obviously.
I do have some time. I just want to make sure I tend to go a little over. It looks like I went 45 minutes on the
It's fine. We could definitely get some more out of a different call if you run out of time.
I can do a little bit of an overview here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again on Cerebro. So I've actually pulled up your
my list. Hopefully it gives you enough data on it.
Yeah. So this is after only like 10 days. So what I did was I copied your ASIN in here and I did a reverse ASIN search. This basically pulls up all of the product or all the keywords that your product is showing up for the organic and sponsored searches. So when you scroll down here, you can actually see a bunch of different keywords. You can see the search volume. So like stress relief gummies, 1,600 searches right there. You can see that it's trending upwards about 15%. And if you scroll over here, you can also see like stress relief gummies. I think that was the one that we saw, right? That's stress relief gummies. So the title density is 10. So this is sort of competitive, but not too competitive. And that again is that number where it's like basically there are 10 other competitors or 10 products on that page that have that exact phrase in their title. So if that's something you really wanted to rank for, then you want to put that in your title, but it's not too competitive. Now, ideally, it would be less than 5 in the title density would be less competitive, but 10 is definitely still really, really good.
Does mine have gummies and gummy? I don't even remember.
Which one?
My title, it has gummies. It has both gummies and gummy. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so you don't have stress relief gummies in that exact phrase. So that is one thing if you wanted to do that one, but it looks like you probably have other keywords you're wanting to focus on. So it really depends on what keywords you want to focus on. I would say this one's kind of a low-hanging fruit keyword that you could potentially go after. But then we have over here, you can see the organic ranks. So this is where you're ranking for those keywords. And then this is the sponsored ranks. So I don't know if you're doing advertising or if you just started it.
I'm going to get some reviews on it first. And then
okay. Yeah. So there's no ads on there yet.
Yeah.
But you would see basically where your advertising was, where your sponsored rank was on these different keywords. And if you go up here, you can actually filter, like I want to see, where I'm between spots 1 in 10 or 1 in 20, Or I want to see the search volume is a minimum of 500, and you can apply the filters there because you want to find a little bit more of those keywords. So you can find, some keywords that are, more than 500. You can also, sort by just clicking on the columns. If you wanted to include a phrase containing, like, for example, stress, let's just put stress and apply filters. Let's see what kind of things we get here. So we've actually kind of filtered it down a bit more. So we've got stress relief supplement. This one's got 10,000 search volume. See if there's a lot of. So title density is only 7. That could potentially be a good keyword. There's a lot of search volume.
There's a lot of search volume.
Let's see. I do not know what just happened. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of search volume for that one, and just not a lot of people who have that exact phrase in their actual.
That was what, stress relief
title.
supplement?
Yeah, stress relief gummies. Or sorry, stress relief
supplement. I think it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here.
Yeah,
there it is. Stress relief supplement right there. Stress
title
gummies.
Density. Sorry, one more question. Title density is basically how many people have that exact phrase. So it can't be supplement for stress relief. It has to be stress relief supplement.
Exactly.
In the title.
Yes. Okay. So, and that's key, because then you can potentially, rank a lot faster because it's weighted heavier in the actual title. So this is a good way to kind of find those keywords.
So for the third one, title density 3 for stress gummies, the search volume is 6,500. There's only 3 competitors with that in there.
With that exact phrase.
So I feel like that would be really good too.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of really good information in here where you can see these kind of like, and some of them are lower hanging fruit probably too. Like some of these, let's see what this one is. Anxiety and stress relief supplements. 1,800 is still pretty good, and there's 0 title density there.
Yeah. And does this translate to not only just the title, but the bullet points and description on top of that?
It's basically the title, because and we use the title just because the title is going to show, it's going to have, Amazon kind of weights it more in terms of ranking. So if you put it in your title, it means like you're telling Amazon, this is my product.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get, especially in the honeymoon period, when you launch a product, you're going to get a little bit more traction for it.
Definitely.
You can also kind of change them out if you wanted to, and see if they, your ranking still sticks. There's a bunch of different ways that you can, do that. But so that's just with one product. So what we can also do is we can go to let's do stress relief gummies. Let's see if is this one's yours, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull X-ray. And this is going to kind of be the, one that shows basically all the products on that page. I always hide the sponsor results. What I'm going to do is you want to choose yours first, because you want to like compare yourself to your competitors when I do this search. So I'm going to choose yours first. And then what I usually do is I like to look for other products that are,
let's say that
they're selling a lot. This one, and then this one's doing good. This one's pretty good. Let's see, I think those are good. We can just start there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit run Cerebro, and it'll take us to Cerebro and do a complete Cerebro search, and it's going to compare you to your competitors. And this is going to help you to find some opportunity keywords in here that maybe your competitors are beating you on, that you can take a look at. So one thing you could do is we have like opportunity keywords and top keywords. So if you want to see the top keywords in a niche, you could click top keywords, and it basically what we do is we fill in these filters for you. And it's basically saying a minimum of 500 search volume. I want to see where there's a minimum of 2 competitors that are ranking between the spots 1 and 40 in, for the keywords. So you've got some, some top keywords here, and this is going to kind of show you like the top keywords for the actual product. Then when you do opportunity keywords, say I'm going to clear this one, and I hit opportunity keywords, it's going to show you keywords that, so it fills in this. So we've got 500 minimum search volume, but then we have one maximum of 2 competitors that are ranked between 1 and 15. So it's like maybe a little more scarce.
That's
I guess.
first 15 spots on the web.
Yeah, first 15 spots.
But
Yeah,
there's only up to 2. There's only 1 or 2.
yeah, 1 or 2. So
those top 15 spots.
right. So there could be some potentially some keywords. Anti-stress supplement could be something. And you
So
can,
these are like the
sort this by
low-hanging
search
fruit
volume.
keywords.
Yeah, potentially. And you want to kind of look through them. Sometimes you'll find more than others, but
a lot of branded ones.
yeah, there's some branded ones.
Exclude, obviously.
Which is actually not a bad thing either, because you can put a whole campaign together and target
against them.
Yeah, target your competitors' brand names. Let's see, anti-stress supplement, stress management. So you might be able to find some interesting things there. Sometimes you can also go back and find, say you want to expand this out to like 30, you could apply the filters and you could see some more keywords in there, and you might find some more stress relief gifts. That's a good one, stress relief gift, 8,900 search volume. That's pretty good.
It's a pretty high search volume, a good amount of competition.
Yeah.
But still.
So I'm just going to clear the filters here. And what I want to show you over here is if I scroll over, we still got the title density here. But another thing we have is position rank. So position rank is your organic rank. And then this relative rank, it shows where you are positioned in the race against your competitors. So we've got 4 in there. So like, for example, this keyword, you're last amongst your competitors. Now, obviously that's not
based
like
on the ones you chose,
super important keyword, but this basically shows you where you rank in the race. So you can actually go in here and let me just find the relative rank. Okay, so this is relative rank. Like you can do a minimum or maximum relative rank, like a maximum of, maybe like 2 competitors are ranking for a product for that keyword, or beating you, I mean. And you can kind of see, let's see, we've got 0. This is basically when you hover over it, you're going to see like where you are in that whole relative rank.
I wish it showed the image, not just the ACE and 2.
Yeah, that'd probably be hard to do, but that's a good potential. I can give that.
I have heard complaints about that from our
yeah, so
like a little baby photo, kind of like what they show on the side.
Yeah, like this one where the top 10.
Exactly.
You can see the top 10
exactly
for
like
magnesium. Yeah. That's potentially something they could do.
Think about it, like someone mentioned it to me actually earlier today when they were doing relative rank searches above 7. And he's like, I have like 10 different competitors, but I don't know their ASINs off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So he's like, sometimes I just screenshot it and have to like look back at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I can give that feedback to the product team. But it's basically, for now, a way that you can see where you are ranking compared to your competitors, where you are in the race for specific keywords. And that is, Cerebro, I think, is probably one of the best tools. Like I can also put, stress in here because I want to do phrases containing stress. And I usually like to do this kind of thing to kind of find, stress related keywords. So I just put in stress relief supplement, like we found, stress relief gifts. Gummies would be a great gift. That's something you might not have thought about because people are stressed. So
I think a big misconception though is everybody's like so honed in on like the IQ score has to be a lot, and they don't really focus on the low hanging fruit. Like they kind of think that like the IQ has to be above a certain number, and the IQ has to be like, obviously it's basically just a simple division equation of search volume over competitors.
Yeah.
But like the search volume could be high and the competitors could be high, but they could also be ranking poorly and you could focus on those.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can find a bunch of these types of things. Stress relief gifts for women.
Long tail, like
very good. Yeah, 1,600 search volume.
Yeah. So for the people watching this, that's what a long tail keyword is what they call it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long tail. So finding those like really, relevant keywords that are specific. Like for example, you wouldn't target stress relief lotion because it's not unless you want to do like
that'd be like a
targeting.
PPC campaign.
Yeah, you could target products that are like it, but in terms of ranking your own product,
Yeah.
You're probably not going to want to target for that. So there's a bunch of different things in here that you could kind of sort through and find some great keywords. I usually like to do search volume. So I'll do like a minimum search volume of like 500, and then I do a maximum of 3,000 to find kind of lower hanging fruit and hit apply filters, and then see what we have. And this is all keywords that include stress. So goodbye stress gummies.
That's Ollie. That's their title of their.
Okay, that's
their product name. Yeah. But that's still something good.
Still something you can target. Yeah.
And I have those hidden words in my descriptions.
Yeah. And I can even take out stress out of here and just apply filters. This is how I've actually found a lot of low hanging fruit, but it's just by doing the search volume and just kind of looking it through and seeing kind of if there's any trends in here that are like, I mean, because we weren't even looking at anxiety, but what you have can probably help with anxiety too, right? So it's probably a ton of anxiety keywords.
I think anxiety is a name of a character from that movie. That's what that one was. But like you said, like there's so much like small. Everybody thinks like, oh, I have to rank on the best keyword. No, you don't have to. You can rank on the, the top or the bottom 50 to 100 and still get lots of conversions that way.
Yeah. Even like we noticed seeing like gifts.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Like these are really low hanging fruit keywords that we probably wouldn't have figured out before, like relaxing gifts for men, best stress relief gifts. There's not
or
a
you
ton
might
of
have just filtered it out. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a ton of search volume, but this all adds up.
Keyword sales on the top two. I mean, all of the keyword sales aren't terrible, to be honest.
On these three, there's, at least, almost 3,000 search volume. So that's pretty good, for these three keywords that are very relevant. So really kind of there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I would say, look at these opportunity keywords and top keywords filters and start playing around with those. And then don't, again, like you said, don't focus on those main top keywords. They're gonna be super expensive. They're obviously, if it's a main keyword that's relevant to your product, you're going to want to have that somewhere in your title. Like for example, coffin shelf for us is more competitive, but we're going to obviously put it in our title because it is a coffin shelf. But I also think about other things that we can kind of add around it, like large coffin shelf, small coffin shelf for kitchen, coffin shelf for bathroom. There's all these different keywords that, you can kind of look at to find, ways to kind of market it on these different keywords. So that is Cerebro. A little, very small training on Cerebro, but Cerebro is a really, really good place. You can also find new product opportunities too. Like you might be looking through here and find some sort of other stress relief type supplement, and you could start, because people are searching for it. Nobody is really, has it. You can start selling that product too. So,
it definitely gets the brain juices flowing when you do it that way.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to kind of go over this. This is going to help a lot of people, especially the new ones that are kind of still struggling to find, that ideal product that they really want to launch, or maybe something that's similar to a product that they can, enhance or make different. So thank you so much. I know we're going to probably end up doing maybe another call in the future to go over Magnet. And some of the listing stuff, there's so many, like the Frankenstein and all that stuff. There's so many other ones that I haven't even dove into yet, now that I'm like launching and stuff like that. But like you said, there's always going to be training videos for most of them. So if anyone's watching this, or everyone's going to be watching this, make sure you watch those first, because you're going to get a good 2-3 minute clips on top of that. But, thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.